Today I'm going to be sharing 10 tips that have made my hair healthier. This is not my real hair, but this is, and I have came from this. So let's get into the video. Hi, my name is Joy. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I do everything fashion, makeup, beauty, blogs, you name it. If it's girly, I'm doing it. And today we're talking about hair, things that I've took my damaged hair to healthy, fully virgin hair, right? And it was a long journey. It wasn't anything overnight. So if you're looking for overnight, this video is not for you. But if you're looking for long-term length retention and hair growth and hair health, this video will definitely help you guys. I am listing some things that I've learned over the past year, maybe more than a year, that I've been applying to my hair, things that I've actually done and researched. So I'm giving you guys the tips without you guys having to go research, go on TikTok, go on Google, go on Instagram to see what people are doing. This video should pretty much help you and get you started with your hair care journey. I just want to mention a little disclaimer. This is not in any particular order. I also want to let you guys know that I do have type 4 hair. I would say I have type 4A hair, 4A, 4B. Okay, I am back. My phone ran out of storage and I just recorded like 20 minutes, almost 30 of me talking. And I just found out that my mic was dead. So we're starting over. And this time I probably won't say as much, but it'll be just enough for you guys to understand what I'm getting at. So let's start from the beginning. Clarifying shampoo, very important. The reason why is because your scalp has a lot of buildup product or buildup dirt, sweating, just oils, whatever, building up on that scalp. And because that is where growth starts, the scalp, you want to make sure that part is really clean, not clogged at all. So clarifying shampoo is very important. Something that I mentioned too in the video that won't even touch the surface because it's completely mute was that basically with a clarifying shampoo, you also have shampoo and you have conditioner and you have leave-in conditioner. And I know you're probably like, okay, wait, why do I need 4 products that both, like 2 of them say the same thing? So basically with a clarifying shampoo, that's to, like, really clean your hair. Like, it's going to get all the product out. Then you have your regular shampoo. I would recommend that when you get a clarifying shampoo that you can just use that with a conditioner. However, it is good to have a regular shampoo just to alternate between the two, because a clarifying shampoo is a bit strong, it's a bit extra cleansing. So you want to make sure that it's not stripping your hair too much by using it too much, because sometimes when you use shampoo, you gotta low-key go in twice. And you might be like, why go in with a clarifying shampoo if I gotta wash my hair twice? I don't know. Some of these products they low-key don't be what they say on the bottle. So you gotta make sure you get a good clarifying shampoo. And then you have your conditioner, and then you have your leave-in conditioner. And that takes me to my next thing, which is leave-in conditioner. It's very important that you use one, because I feel like the ends of my hair, which have a lot to do with length retention, have been so moisturized, and my hair has been much softer ever since I've used a deep conditioner. And the good thing about your hair being softer is that when you are detangling or you're, blow drying or whatever you're doing, styling, brushing through the hair, it's not hard to work with. It's not difficult to work with, meaning you're going to have less breakage and less, fallout, because you're always going to have shedding. That is completely normal. When you take a shower and you wash your hair, you might see a few little hairs fall out. That's because your hair is shedding. That's normal. But sometimes it comes out a little more than usual because when you're detangling, you're going a little too hard, or maybe something in your hair isn't allowing it to really get the slip that it needs in order to detangle easily and effortlessly. And my next thing is water. Water is so important for your hair. It's so important for your body. They tell you to drink water, put water on your hair, put water on your face, everything. Water helps everything, but you gotta have the right kind of water. Okay, so distilled water is really good. I've been kind of into, clarifying the water that I am drinking or putting in my hair, but we can't always do that. However, it still works either way for your hair. So when you put water in your hair, that is the moisture. That is the key ingredient to moisture. you look at a back of a moisturizing product, and if it is moisturizing or a moisturizer, it's going to say some kind of water ingredient or aqua or aloe juice, something of that sort. It's going to say that, and that is what's making your hair moisturize. However, if you just put a product in your hair that is a like a leave-in cream and no water, it's like, okay, when you put water in your hair, it becomes a sponge. So when you put product on top of that, your hair just soaks it up. However, if you put a product that is moisturizing and does have water in it on your hair when it's dry, it's not really soaking up the product as much. So that's the best way I can explain it. So make sure you put water in your hair, not just when you wash it, but when you're trying to get that hair to be moisturized, your ends, your roots, wherever, right? You want to make sure your hair starts off a little damp. I'm not saying for it to be like completely like fresh out the shower, but I am saying like make sure you have a spray bottle with water, distilled water, or you can use aloe juice, which I've personally have been loving. It's very moisturizing to the hair. And then you put your leave-in cream, and that is my next thing. Use a leave-in cream or a leave-in conditioner, something that's going to stay in your hair to keep it moisturized after washing throughout the week. And I usually go in maybe twice or three times a week, depending on how my ends have been doing or reacting to certain products. And that's going to keep your hair moisturized because your ends are very important. Not just your root where the hair growth is happening, but your ends are very important because that is length retention. My next topic is low maintenance and low manipulation hairstyles. So this could be your mini twist. I've known many of you guys have heard of that. However, it's they not lying. They not lying. I can't even hold you. You got mini braids. You have just all these different natural hairstyles. A lot of braids. A lot of twists. Not necessarily with extensions added. More natural. But even if you wear your hair in mini twists or mini braids under a wig or under a scarf, that still counts, okay? As long as you have access to your ends, even if you're doing cornrows all the way back, which I love doing, I do them 24/7. I'm so glad that I finally learned how to do them, and I will never stop. And as long as you have access to your ends, actually the entire hair, your scalp, all of that, you are in good standing with your hair if you have access to it and you can moisturize it. So when you're wearing extensions and all these things or sew-ins, you can't really get to your scalp as well, and that's why sometimes it gets dry or it gets built up. Same thing with your ends. You can't really get to them as well, so that's why it gets dry and you can't see that you need a trim or you can't see that you need a wash because you can't see it, you know? So it's very important to have low maintenance styles. So like low maintenance basically means you ain't got to do too much. And when you don't do too much to your hair, meaning like when I had slick back buns back in the day, I used to have to slick it back every morning. That is not low maintenance. That is everyday maintenance. And that is going to make your hair break off because the more you touch it, play with it, whatever, it's going to start to break off or start to like kind of just get dry and shed more, but it's not really shed, it's hair loss at this point. And you don't want that because that's not going to equal length retention. Okay. To speak more on length retention, a lot of people say I want my hair to grow more, but the truth is your hair is already growing. It grows every month. Okay, let's say your hair grows an inch a month. That means you got 12 inches, 12 new inches at the end of the year if you're taking care of your hair properly. Now, I know that we all trim the hair. However, that is actually helping your hair, not keeping it from length retention. Because if you're holding on to ends that need to be cut, sometimes if your hair is splitting, it can go up the hair shaft. And then sometimes if they're dry, it may not spread upwards, but who wants dry ends? That means that you're pulling on your hair more when you're detangling it just to get the comb through, just to get the brush through, just to get your fingers through. And then you also have hair loss happening. So it's good to like trim off dry hair or split ends so that it stops splitting, it stops getting dry, the comb stops getting stuck, okay? So that's what really has to do with length retention, is making sure that your hair is good at the ends and that you keep your ends in good standing. You keep it very moisturized on the ends of your hair. And then hair growth has more to do with the root. However, I wouldn't recommend that an oil helps grow your hair because hair oil can boost it It can help it. It can stimulate your scalp like a peppermint oil. We got peppermint oil. We got pumpkin oil. We got rosemary. We got just all these different oils. Don't use coconut oil. If it says coconut oil, it ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna do nothing, okay? But we got all these different oils, and they work, but I think that your hair is gonna grow anyway, and there's other areas that are more important that you need to be consistent with. The oil is the last thing I would worry about, okay? So yeah, that's basically the difference between trimming your hair and what that has to do with length retention, and then hair growth that has more to do with your scalp. That's why it's important to have a clean scalp, and it's important to trim your hair like maybe every 3 months. I do every 3 months, so that's 4 times a year. Some people only do every 6 months. Girl, don't do your hair like that. I don't know how that's working for them, but I wouldn't try it. I wouldn't try it because you're thinking like, oh, I ain't got to worry about it. And then you're looking at your ends and you're just like, wait, I have to cut off more than I usually cut. My routine has been working so well that every time I cut my hair, it's like less than half an inch, which is amazing. Amazing. That is really hard to do. Usually, every time people cut their hair, it's about an inch. I'm doing less than half an inch. I'm literally dusting my ends. That's it. I'm just, like it's just the very little, like, tiniest bit of hair. This is not my real hair. I don't know why I keep acting like, yeah, this is my hair. It's not. Just another disclaimer. But yeah, so trimming your hair is very important for length retention. And you might be like, well, how is cutting my hair making my hair longer? In reality, it may not look long in that moment, but it's gonna add up over time. See, if you were to let your hair go, like not trim it, but it is getting, how would I put it? It's getting messed up at the ends. It's getting dry. It's getting split. So then when you do cut it, because you're going to look at it one day and be like, this ain't it. Then you have to cut way more. You know what I'm saying? So if you cut that little bit that you need to cut off now, you won't have to cut off way more later. And then that could have been all new growth. And then you would have had your length retention. You see what I did there? So yeah. And next thing is heat protectant, because I wear my hair blown out a lot. And I'm sure you guys can see. I'll put some videos. I'm sure I have a lot. I wear my hair blown out a lot because I put my hair into like little cornrows when I wear my wigs. I also do it for braid outs sometimes. I'll braid out my hair and I'll wear it a little damp but also blown out. Or like maybe straight out the shower, didn't feel like doing my hair, so I just braided it. But for the most part, I wear my hair pretty blown dried. So when I do that, you have to have heat protectant. Even if you're straightening your hair, it don't matter if it's not a full silk press. You need heat protectant. I like heat protectant with bond repair, and I highly recommend that you just use a heat protectant when you're dealing with any kind of heat. Because when my hair was damaged, I didn't use heat protectant, and when I did, it was an oil heat protectant. And I don't know, like, some, like, a serum heat protectant is fine, but some heat protectants, I personally think, like, is it frying my hair more than it would if I wasn't wearing one? Because I feel like oil is just like, I think about when you put fried chicken in oil and it just be lighting that chicken up. That chicken be on fire, be crackling, seasoning. You can hear it, right? I feel like that's the same thing when you put oil in your hair right before you press it or you blow dry it. I feel like that's the same equivalent. So be careful about the heat protectants that you use and just really do your research, okay? Bond repair, I have bond repair in my deep conditioner and my heat protectant, right? Deep conditioner is very important. That's right before I blow dry my hair, and then heat protectant is as I'm blow drying my hair, and I have bond repair in both of those products. There's a reason for that. Your bond repair can be in your what do you call it? Your conditioner, your shampoo. I prefer a bond repair to be in a product that's not being washed out. I think when it comes to any type of moisturizing ingredient or anything that's helping the bonds in your hair or has protein in it, it should be in a product that's not necessarily washing out. Now, protein could be a little different because some products have protein in it, but I wouldn't say you keep it in your hair. But bond repair you can keep in your hair. and it's just working for your hair as you're going on about your daily duties, as you're dilly-dallying. Okay, so I recommend bond repair because that has helped my hair a lot with my ends. My ends are my biggest op, okay, because my ends be so dry, and I'm just like, I just give you water. I just watered that garden yesterday. Like, what are you talking about? You're dry, you're hungry, you know what I'm saying? So make sure that you're getting your bond repair. Make sure that you're moisturizing your hair. And I feel like the one thing I didn't get to in my, my video that got, basically it won't be uploaded because you can't hear me, but having a routine is so important. Having a hair routine. I basically moisturize my hair 2 to 3 times a week, and I'm not even talking about the wash and go, or your wash day. I'm not even talking about that. I have a video on that. But I'm mainly focusing on the routine that you keep when your hair is not being washed, or where you're not really in your hair but you're in it. You want to make sure you're washing. You want to make sure you're putting water in your hair. You're putting a leave-in, and you're putting like Blue Magic oil or any type of sealant. I wouldn't do all 3 though. Don't go crazy. You want to be able to re-moisturize it again. That's why with Blue Magic, it's good, but don't go crazy because it'll be hard to wash out, and it's hard to get more product in your hair after using that. But it's good to keep the moisture in. So it's like, which one? It depends on which one you want. There's pros and cons. But an oil is a little bit lighter, but it's still considered a sealant. So when you put water in your hair and then you put leave-in conditioner or leave-in cream, you're basically putting that oil as a sealant to keep that product in. It's not, I wouldn't say it's growing your hair, but it's keeping your hair moisturized, which leads to length retention. So when your hair is growing, you're actually able to keep that inch, that length that just came in. So I guess in a way, you could say it's growing your hair, but that's not the right logic behind it. That's not the right terminology, but I'll let you have that. And besides from that, detangling your hair one time. One time. Because I just learned this and it changed the game. Changed the game forever. When you are detangling your hair before you wash it, which you should, but if you don't have to, don't do it. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because sometimes we have, like, you might have braids in, and I mean like those chunky braids. I'm not talking about small individual braids. Or maybe you have like some kind of twist in, and I'm talking about chunky twists, not mini twists. I'm not talking about extensions. I'm just talking about your natural hair just being already braided up. You're going to wash your hair like that, even if it's not detangled. And you're going to make sure that those braids don't come loose. Those twists don't come loose. And then when you come out the shower, you're going to pin everything else to the back and take one section. You're going to comb that section. You can use a little leave-in cream if you need to, or just make sure that it stays damp enough for you to detangle. And then after that, you're going to blow dry that section, and you're going to go and do that with all the other sections. First of all, it's way easier to detangle your hair that way, but if you have a lot of hair, it might be a little harder. But that is a really good way to only detangle your hair one time. And the reason why I say one time is because the more you detangle your hair, the more hair that falls out. Detangling your hair automatically leads to your hair falling out. And not falling out like it's falling out in chunks. I just mean like your hair's already gonna shed. That's one thing. But it can lead to more like fairy knots and just tangles, and the more you do it, the more that you're manipulating your strands in your hair, and some strands get a little weak, and the more you go over it, the more those strands fall out. Even if it's just one singular strand, every strand matters, okay? Every strand matters. When we're in the game of hair health, every strand matters. Like, you see a strand of hair, you're like, dang, could have saved you. Now, sometimes it is just shedding, and it is what it is. There's no way around that. But sometimes you gotta like chill on the detangling and the manipulation. So that's why detangling your hair once, if not once, twice, is very important. Don't overdo it. Don't do it more than necessary. I ain't saying to go outside with tangled hair. I ain't saying to keep your hair tangled. If you got it to detangle your hair, detangle it. And a product that really works is Flexi Seed Gel. I've made it on this channel before. I talked about it in one of my glow up videos. Go check it out. Flexi Seed Gel is like the most reasonable thing that you can do. However, you do have to make it as you use it, but it works very well for detangling your hair. It basically creates this slip that you don't get with regular products. And when you get that, it's really easy to put a brush through your hair without it actually taking the hair out. Okay, I hope that this video helps you guys to basically have a better hair routine. I wouldn't say to do all these things in order. I ain't telling you to go buy 1,000 products, but maybe try one or two of these things and see how it works for you. If you like it, please comment down below and let me know, like, yeah, this has been working for my hair been growing. I would love to hear it because these things have been working for me. I've been kind of like taking videos of like my progress of like, okay, my hair's growing and then I had to trim it and then it's growing and then I had to, well, I trim my hair like 3 times every 3 months, but my thing is just like, even if you're trimming your hair 3 times, it's about how much you're trimming that matters. And I cannot like stop talking about trimming, but it's the thing that I don't want to do. Like when I have to trim my hair, I'm like, oh, I have to trim my hair. But I be on it. I be on it. I don't let it go another month without trimming because it can get worse. And then also when you're trimming your hair, the best thing you want to see is that you only have less than half an inch. You only have half an inch of hair to trim. You don't want to have to be like, dang, I gotta do a big chop. I gotta trim off 3 inches. So that's why it's very important to kind of apply these things to your routine. I hope that this helps. I can make more videos about this that are more detailed about each topic that I talked about. And I actually did, but then my mic wasn't on. So if you guys want a more detailed or like a little like short or TikTok series, I could give that to you for sure. But yeah, I hope that this helps you guys. I hope that your hair is growing and doing well and that it gets healthy or that it remains healthy if it's already healthy. And I hope that this helps you guys. I know it's hard when you have type 4 hair and there's not a lot of products out there for you. There's not a lot of information. I feel like back in like 2016, there was like this natural hair era. And then I don't know, it just came to an end when all these lace fronts and glueless wigs came out. It just kind of disappeared and everybody started straightening their hair and it just kind of, but now we're back to kind of like natural hair. Now I know I'm wearing a wig, but it's to protect my hair. There's a difference. I'm not like I don't wear glue. I only do glueless wigs because glue can mess up your edges and all that stuff. And some people do leave out when they do a sew in. That's also messing up your hair because two different textures. So you gotta be mindful. It's like you can have a little fun. You could be a little blondie for a day, but you still have healthy hair under all that, and that's what really matters. So I hope that this video helps you. I'll probably have more content about this later on, but I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.